So guys, today back another video on the channel. Today we're here for the Newcastle United versus Bournemouth preview. Footballers back at St James's Park. Newcastle United have got a big game at St James's where we have got to win. We're on a decent bit of form at the minute. Can Newcastle United continue? We haven't won at home in a long time. I don't think we've won at home this year. So it would be nice to turn it around and get a home win. But yet again, Bournemouth are a good team. They've had a good season so far. Everyone written them off. And it's a big game at St James's. If you could leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already yet. Would mean a lot if you could do so. Anyways, lads, let's get in the video now. We'll start off by looking at Bournemouth as we always do. Speak about the tune. And yeah, let's have it. First off, speaking about the preview, I just haven't had the time to do any more videos in the upload schedule, so this will just be one video. Normally I do the predict team as well. This is just going to be one video, one big preview for the game. I just haven't had the time to do two videos at once, because obviously I've got to upload this on Friday. That's just the sake of it. But anyways, let's get on our boys, and let's start off by looking at Bournemouth. So last time out they got a 3-1 defeat against Fulham, and a bit disappointing. They've been on quite good form in the minute. They've only lost 3 out of their last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 games, 3 defeats. That is extremely good. Yes, they got beat to Liverpool as well, big team, and then they got beat to Spurs. So two teams are doing very good this season, and obviously one man who's done extremely well for them is Dominic Solanke. Obviously there was a little bit of link with Newcastle in January, but Eddie Howe cancelled that off straight away and went, there's no sort of interest in Dominic Solanke. Obviously Eddie Howe signed him. A lot of players who play for Bournemouth actually Eddie Howe signed. Dominic Solanke's one of them. Smith had a lot of time for him, but they have changed a lot. They've got a lot of players from Europe, and they have developed their squad very well, considering at the start of the season they were down at the bottom. Everyone written them off. They couldn't get a win, and now they are 8 points above the drop. That is extremely good, considering they've got a game in hand as well. They should be okay, Bournemouth. There's definitely 3 worse teams than Bournemouth this season, and some of the signings that they've made have been really good. Obviously Sinisterra's one who is just lacking goals. He did Leeds last season. He just lacked that end product, but he's always a threat, and he will be a threat in this game. Tavernier's another player, former brother. He's a good player. One player I like, it's Ryan Christie. I think he's a very underrated player. I think people don't. I don't see anyone speak about him, but when I watch him, he's 9 times out of 10 he's quite good, but sometimes he might have them games. I don't know. Considering he doesn't really get the recognition that, from my point of view, he deserves. But defensively as well, Senesios, he scored against us last season. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists this season from centre back. They're a good side, and we can't write them off absolutely. Obviously, we got beat to Bournemouth as well earlier on in the season. We got beat. Really disappointing game. It was an absolute sick, wasn't it? But looking at the injury situation, they have got quite a few out. Bournemouth, Hill, I don't know who that is, Max Evans, Ryan Fredericks, Tyler Adams, and then Bilham was suspended for the game, but he should be back. Obviously there's been links with Newcastle with 2 Bournemouth players in Lloyd Kelly and Philip Billen. I think 2 players. Could they improve Newcastle's team? But I think Billen's a very good player, but is he to the standard of Newcastle who are trying to go for Champions League football from now on? I don't know. I think Lloyd Kelly, I think he's a good squad player, definitely. If we got him on a free, I think it's a no-brainer. But obviously we don't know. Obviously we still know the Eddie Howe links to Bournemouth and whatnot. We do have a lot of players in our team who have played for Bournemouth and had history with Bournemouth, but they're a good side, absolutely, and we can't write them off one tiny bit, because you look at how they've been. Like they've lost 3 out of the last 15. I think I said 7 wins, 6 draws, 10 losses, 31 goals scored. It's not bad, considering when you look at the other side of the picture. Obviously, what about them staying up? Out of the teams who possibly could get relegated, they're sitting in the best position at the minute. They're only 5 points behind Wolves, who are 11th. And then you look at Newcastle, they're only 9 points behind. That could turn around like that. You know what I mean? Newcastle could lose 3 in a row, and Bournemouth could win 3 in a row. We've seen it this season with Everton. before the point drop, they could have been on the same point as Newcastle at one point. It's mad how much it can change. So it just shows as well how much of a big game this is, because people will go into the game thinking, right, we should win, but they're the games where Newcastle don't tend to win this season, especially the teams down the bottom. We've struggled against some of them, so, and obviously we got beat at the Vitality this season, so Newcastle have got to step it up. Newcastle have got to show Bournemouth why we're going to win at St James's Park, but this is that's the bit by Bournemouth done. Let's speak about the tune then. So I've actually not made a video since that Nottingham Forest win. I was going to do a video on the Sunday, but because of the win, I ended up going to town, and then I woke up quite hungover, so it was obviously one of them. Then during the week, I've just been working, and obviously it was Valentine's Day Wednesday, so I had to go and see Warloss, and then we're at Thursday night now, and then some news came out today, which is really bad. It is. Callum Wilson's out for 9 to 12 weeks, which I think he might have played his last game for the club. If the club are going to seriously have the thought of getting rid of Joe Linton, but then maybe keeping Callum Wilson, it's... Yes, he's a good striker on his day, and he can score, he can get goals, but we should have cashed in. We should have cashed in. From, yes, it'd be shit if you went into a Prem team, done really well, scored against the Toon, but Newcastle could have easily sold Callum Wilson. He had a really good summer. I think he played about 25 odd games, so something around that, and got 18 goals. Missed the period of the season as well. You think of that and think, fucking hell, he's done really well there. He also went for that goal drought as well during that February-March time where he just couldn't score a goal in the Premier League. Now he's injured for 9 to 12 weeks. Does that mean he's probably played his last game at the club? Does he? Because I think his contract ends not this season, next season, but it's the other side of the picture. Who's going to buy Callum Wilson? Who's going to take the risk and be like, well, we know he's a very good player and we're going to have to pay a lot of money for him, but who's going to pay for a player that's constantly injured? That's his third injury or fourth injury this season. And people say Isaac's injury prone. He is as well. So I mean, we've got strikers made of glass. It's so annoying because the whole system changed against Nottingham Forest as well. Wilson didn't do a thing. Honestly, I thought he was extremely quiet. One of them when people have quiet games, they always do. Callum Wilson was extremely quiet, didn't do much, and he wasn't pressing the defenders, and you could just tell him he was just off the pace, completely. And does that mean Anthony Gordon starts up top? And then if you start Gordon, does that mean Barnes comes on the left? Who is he ready to start yet? According to Eddie Howe. Murphy had an issue. Do you start Murphy on the right, or do you start Almon, or do you start Almon on the left, Murphy on the right, and keep Barnes on the bench? Personally, for a game like this, Bournemouth, I'd start Harvey Barnes. I think he needs a run of games now. He's came back from injury, and he needs a run of games to get into the rhythm. Yes, he looked good against Nottingham Forest and scored that goal versus Luton, but he needs to obviously go on and progress in the team. But yeah, it's going to be a interesting one. Obviously, I think the defence in the midfield picks itself. I can't see any changes being made there. Maybe's Tino for Dan Burn. I generally thought Eddie Howe would have the bollocks to drop Dan Burn for Forest. Obviously, he was at fault for the first goal because of the pace and why Tino wouldn't have let that goal go in, but he was quite good at setting off Dan Burn, and I don't care what people say. I'm a slater. I will slate if someone's been bad, but in the second half he stood his ground really well and controlled the defence. But for the game, Newcastle, Bournemouth, nice 3 PM kick-off as well, which I love to see. I can't remember that. Well, Luton was the last 3 PM kick-off, but we never get 3 PM kick-offs anymore, especially at St James's, so it's actually quite nice. And then we've got a big one next week against Arsenal, so it makes it like if we beat Bournemouth, we've just beat Forest, we've lost 1 in the last 6. If we can go and beat Bournemouth, and I'll beat Bournemouth, playing Arsenal, it takes a little bit of relief off it, especially playing at the Emirates. But Saturday, 3 PM kick-off, score prediction, lads. I am gonna Newcastle should win, but it's the should that I say. Newcastle United are going to win this game 2-1. 2-1 Newcastle. Not the most entertaining game, but let's wait and see what happens. And there we go, boys. That is going to be the end of the preview. Tomorrow it will be match day. Video will be out as always, and I'm going out of town on the Saturday night, all planned and whatnot. So hopefully we'll win, because I don't fancy going to town if we've got beat off. Let's just wait and see. But make sure to leave a like, boys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already yet. Wouldn't be lucky if you could do so. I'll see you all for the game tomorrow. Away the lads.